Guess who's back? Back again. Hey fam, welcome back. In this video, I want to go over some primers that I loved enough to repurchase. I have 9 primers to share with you today. And if that sounds interesting to you, go ahead and stay tuned. We're going to get into it right now. I know, it's been a minute. Your girl needed a break. I needed a break. I've been working 7 days a week for almost 2 years now, and the burnout was getting serious, real serious. So I took some time for myself, played with my makeup, spent some time with friends, spent some time with Doug, all socially distanced and very safely, except for Doug. And I feel refreshed and really good. So thank you for your patience with me. And without further ado, let's go ahead and get into the primers. So the first primer I want to talk to you about is an oldie but a goodie. This is the Maybelline Master Prime, and this is the version that has SPF 30. This was my ride or die little primer before I started to really explore makeup and know my stuff a little bit better, what I liked, what my preferences were, and what worked best for my skin. I love this primer. I've also tried the version in the light blue packaging, which I really love. It's like a hydrating version. But this little primer, he was really a favorite for so long. I could not leave him out, but I wanted to mention him last because he's not one that I use all the time anymore. These next ones though are holy grail loves. The next primers are from Becca. I have the Backlight Priming Filter here and the First Light Priming Filter. These primers I showed in more detail in my Shop My Stash scavenger hunt for the brand Becca, and you can see the effect these primers have on my skin in that video. This one is much more glowy. This is definitely my favorite of the two, and this one does have a nice sheen. It adds a lot of brightness and light. They're both beautiful primers. This one for my dry skin is a little bit glowier. I have absolutely repurchased these. I bought them first from TJ Maxx in a sample size or a deluxe size, I guess you could say. And when Ulta 21 Days of Beauty had these on sale, I snagged them right away. I really enjoy the way that they just add a lot of glow and brightness. It's almost like the effect of placing a highlighter under your foundation, but it's a little bit more natural and skin-like. And I have one kind of honorable mention because I have not physically repurchased this one yet, but I will be doing so when it goes on sale and when I run out of it. That is the Smashbox Photo Finish Primerizer. I really love this primer. It's a very thin formula, kind of liquidy, as you can see. But this really hydrates my skin. When my skin is feeling particularly dry, as soon as I put this primer on, my skin drinks it right up. And I feel like it adds a suppleness and it allows my foundation to apply and blend so much more easily on the skin. I really love this primer. A great dupe for this primer is by Catrice. I'll go ahead and insert a picture in this video right here of the dupe for this. I do think they're very similar. I've already panned that entire product, so I clearly loved it. So I may repurchase that one or this one, but this hydrating formula, I love the way that it hydrates my dry skin. I think this is a fantastic primer. I also love the Catrice dupe. Another one that I've loved enough to repurchase is this one by Milk Makeup. I first bought this little deluxe sample. You can see it's almost gone. I do have a full size in the box, ready to go when I use the rest of this one up. But this one may have been dethroned by another primer I'm going to talk about a little bit later in the video that I have been obsessed with since I first tried it. I think I've worn it every single day. But with this Milk Hydro Grip Primer, this is a sticky primer. It's going to really adhere to your skin and allow your foundation to really stick. Those of us that have foundations, I know my girl Nona always calls them church foundations, the foundations that tend to move around or wear off too quickly. Primers like this can really extend the wear time of those very luminous, skin-like foundations that I love so much, and I just really enjoy this primer. You can get this in 2 sizes. I think this one's 15 and the full size is 30. So this is a little bit more of an expensive product, but don't you worry because I have a great drugstore dupe. Also with the Milk Primer, I do enjoy going in first with another primer that we're going to talk about next, and that is the Touch and Soul Primer. You can see this is another one that I have really gotten my use out of. I have to smack this onto my hand to get any product out because the little hose won't even pick it up anymore, but I'm going to get every last little bit I can out of this guy. He is a glass bottle. I love combining the Milk Makeup Primer with a primer like this as a first step. Reason being is that I found with the Milk Makeup Primer, it grips so well that it gripped right inside my textured skin, and then all the foundation attached to that texture. But with a primer like the No Problem Primer, as a first step, you get all of that nice, smooth skin that this then will adhere your makeup right on top of. This is a beautiful combination. I actually currently have 2 backups of this primer and I really, really love it. From the first time I got this in my BoxyCharm, I think it was like the March Boxy Luxe, I think, from 2019. I have loved this so, so much. This is probably my second favorite primer, trumped only by the one we're going to talk about last. Another primer I loved enough to repurchase is this one here by Tatcha. This is the Tatcha The Silk Canvas. This primer I bought in the small size. You can see I have pan in this primer. I have a full size waiting for me to finish this one up. This primer I really, really enjoy using right here against my nose and in this little area of my cheek where my nose and cheek meet, because I tend to get a little bit oily in those areas sometimes as my foundation wears, and I can tend to break up the foundation around those areas on my face. With this little primer, that does not happen. It is like Fort Knox. It locks everything in. It keeps those little oils at bay that tend to like break up my foundation a little bit. It helps with texture, and this is an area where I do get some texture, and this primer really does save the day. I only use it in those areas, or maybe here on my forehead where I get a little bit oily, but this is a fantastic primer. Even if you have dry skin, if you get those little oily areas or areas where you get a little bit more texture, your foundation breaks up a little bit, this is a great primer to really just kind of set in those areas where you see oil come through that breaks up your makeup. This will lock it in place, keep those oils at bay, and keep your foundation looking as fabulous as when you put it on. Another primer I want to talk about is this one here by Hourglass. As you can see, I bought the mini. I'm about halfway through this little guy, maybe 40% through it. I loved it so much that I bought myself a backup. This is very akin to the NYX Angel Skin Primer if you enjoy that one, but it's just a better quality, I would say. That one is a great option, and I do own that as well. But this one, even though this is like a holy grail product for you oily girls out there, I've heard, it really did work for me as well. This does tend to mattify my skin a bit, but the canvas it creates, it is such a smooth, smooth canvas for your foundation. It really made my products look beautiful. I loved it so much that I bought the full size, so I will be breaking into that as soon as I finish this little deluxe sample. Another primer I loved enough to repurchase, this is one here by Benefit. This is the Hydrating Professional Primer. I also received this in a BoxyCharm, and I recently repurchased the full size from Sephora because I am like, this is getting really light. I've used this so much. I had to make myself put this away because I wanted to use it every single day. I have it on today, so see that. I love this primer. I do think it's very pore filling, which I really love and need. My skin is a little bit textured, and I love that this is hydrating. It's not going to look cakey on your face. It's beautiful. I love how it smooths the skin. I love how it wears. I love how it helps my makeup to last. Huge, huge fan of this new hydrating version by Benefit. It's such a great product. And last, but certainly not least, is Bay. This is the e.l.f. Jelly Pop Dew Primer. This primer, y'all, I have bought 2 backups. 2, because I don't want them to take it away. I don't want it to sell out again. I don't want it to go out of stock or be discontinued. I'm like, please keep it coming with the e.l.f. Jelly Pop Primer. I love this primer. This is the one that is a dupe for the Milk Makeup Primer, but is much more affordable. Something else I really like about this, it smells like watermelon, which I love. And unlike the Milk Primer that's so gripping that it falls into all of my texture, this does not. As long as I make sure that I hydrate well with a moisturizer before going in with this primer, I'm set. With this one, I need to moisturize, do my No Problem primer, and then use this product. This is very sticky. Like, I have to wash my hands as soon as I'm finished putting it on my skin because my fingers are super tacky from applying it. Super gripping. It has made foundations that I wanted to give up on new favorites. It saved that Estee Lauder foundation that I was complaining about in a haul, my May haul, I think, or June haul. I was complaining about that foundation, I think. I can't even remember. It made it beautiful. It made it last. I love dewy skin-like finishes for my foundations. The one I have on today is one by Pretty Vulgar. It's a little bit more medium to full coverage, but I wanted to get my use out of it. But for your ones that are more serum-like, that just slip and slide and don't last, like I bet you that Flower foundation would be fantastic with this primer. I love this so much. I think this is $10. It is my new favorite primer in addition to my Touch in Sol. But I have reached for this so much. You can see that my little bottle's getting very skinny. It was totally full before. I've only had this for a few weeks and I cannot put this down. So highly, highly recommend and love this primer. If you've got foundations that slip and slide, girl, no more. No more. So I hope you guys enjoyed this quick little video, some primer favorites that I have discovered and wanted to share with you. I'm so excited about this video and I couldn't wait to film it for you guys. It's my first video back after a 2-week hiatus, so know that I missed you guys and I appreciate the break. I feel a lot more refreshed now and ready to rock and roll. So I love you all so much. Thank you so much for being here. Until the next video, bye.